It's Monday. We back. We back. We back. It's Monday. We back. We back. Or should I say, we are back. How you feeling out there? Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a great weekend. Just got off a phone call, but somebody just pissed me off. But hey, we're going to keep that between me and them. But anyway, I'm still here for you. Hopefully you're still here for me. Dame Dash. So it's coming up again. I know we did one before. Check it out. We're almost at 1,000 views with Dame Dash, Depth of a Dynasty, where I briefly talk about some of his lawsuits that have him, on the verge of, I don't know if it's bankruptcy, but he's been forced to sell off a lot of his assets, including his New America studio, which consists of his platform. I don't know if it's an app or if it's just, I don't know, program on the app. I don't know. But he shows a lot of his own original programming on there. So, but then over the weekend, I did see him. He put out some type of album or something. I don't know what it is, but he showed like with his wife some a vinyl album and him on it or something like that. You could check it out. But that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about right now is what a lot of people talk about. So last week, I saw something that said from a music exec, Ray Daniels, not really too familiar with him, except on the Joe Budden podcast. But he was talking, saying that he had lost a little bit of respect for Jay-Z because Jay-Z, he felt like because of the track record that they had, that Jay-Z should be willing, to help him out and pay some of his debts, as far as because he knows that Dame is in a bad situation. So some people would say, hey, listen, you know what? Maybe I would do the same thing. Maybe I would help. If it's on a second. But my thing is that I'm saying, and I would say this to you, is, give me 1 second. And the one thing that I would say to you is that, how do you feel about that? Would you help? Would you be willing to help a guy that you had a long-standing relationship with, friendship with, and now they're going through some financial issues? Now, because we're going to taper it down a little bit because, of course, Jay-Z is on a billionaire or in the billionaire ranks while Dame Dash is not, but he's still considered a millionaire in his own right. But what would you do if you had the money to solve? Because I think it's less than $10 million that Dame Dash is he supposedly owes, maybe even less than $7 million, somewhere around that. But what would you do if your former friend, you were worth a lot of money, and your former friend was in crisis or in need of crisis, in need of help in crisis, and you think about it, and you say, well, dag, for the last 5 or 6 plus years, each time this person has had an opportunity to talk about me, they've spoken about me disparagingly. And I've talked about that before, too, because I've had that happen, as most of us have. So, none of us are anything different. But I do believe it's different once you start going public with bashing people, especially people that are in your personal life. Just like how I just told you, I had a bad phone call, but I would never get on here and say who that bad phone call was from or the argument I got in with whom, because everybody didn't ask to be in the public light. So, of course, when you have celebrity in the public light, a lot of times they air their grievances out in the public light. And I've seen many interviews where Dame Dash has said certain things, and I even watched The Breakfast Club the other day, and Memphis Bleek said he actually spoke to Dame Dash about the allegations with Jay-Z and had to finally say to Dame, listen, that's too far, because Dame was trying to act oblivious, like, I don't know about what's going on. I don't know, what Jay is, capable of. I'm paraphrasing. Of course, he didn't say it that way, but basically, instead of stamping it and saying, look, I might not see eye to eye with Ball, but guess what? Him and I have been, we do have a past. We might not see eye to eye right now, but I know from what I know from being around him that wasn't the case. He was not into any type of dealings with children at all, as I wasn't either. But he didn't do that. So that would cross another line, especially when you're talking about a guy who has both of them have wives and kids. So even in regular life, I know for me, it is extremely hard for me to get over when I find out that somebody has been talking negatively about me. And the reason is that, do we all talk negatively or have stuff to say about different people? Sure, we may have that. But then there's a different story when you got a person that runs their mouth all of the time talking negatively, not just about you, but about multiple people. And they even talk negatively to you about the people that they've talked negatively about you to them, and then you get what I'm saying. So why in the hell would I want to help out someone who was a friend and even though they're in need, but they talked about me like a dog? And I know I've gone back and forth on this issue where I look at it as like we're all men, and women, and we should be able to stand on our own. And it shouldn't take anyone to come and give us a stimulus package. It shouldn't take for anyone to come and help bail us out. But then, like I've told you before, last year going through a tough time myself as far as being involved in an accident, not being able to really work, had to rely on savings and helping of primarily my moms and pops. You do see things from a different angle. Even though I wasn't talking bad about people, but you do see things from a different angle. Because here it is, you're in a bad situation. Now, Dame is in a bad situation for whatever reasons. But once again, that's rich man talk. So his bad situation with money could be the same issue as me with losing money because with a broken hip, now I can't do any or certain types of work to make my own money anymore or for an extended period of time. And what typically happens? You got good friends. They check on you. They do certain things for you. They're there and they're friends and we're all men. And even your female friends, they're women. Oh, I guess they are women. And they're friends, but they help you out in their own different way. But we all know when the chips are down, when things happen, what do people need? Money. People need money. And we all, because, even me, like I always say, anything that I talk about, 9 times out of 10, at a certain point in my life, I've been guilty of. Most things, except being a decent person, but most things I've been guilty of as well. So this is also self-reflection for me and to make me a better person. So if you do find a friend or have a friend that there's no doubt about it. It's not like they got a husband or a wife or a supportive family or whatever. Like I fortunately had to be as far as a supportive family and supportive friends. But say, hey, listen. Matter of fact, don't even say it. Sometimes say, hey, man, listen. And I'll shout him out again, my boy George. Didn't even ask, here you go, here's $50. Cash after, boom. You know how you see the little dollar sign at the top, boom, $50. Just out of nowhere. Now, is $50 going to break the bank or send me to the trip that I want to go to, to Rome? No. But you know what it does? It brought to me and it said, wow, you know what? Instead of somebody talking, somebody actually did. And that's the correlation here. Because, see, it's always easy for us to talk about what Jay-Z should do with his money, what rich people should do with their money. I've been guilty of saying that same thing, too. But what do we do with our money? What do we do with our money when we see a friend or family member that's struggling? When we see a friend or family member that might be in a bad spot? What do? We take our money and we hold on to it. If you know that somebody is in need, you don't ask them, do they need something? You say, here. You You give it to them free will. I know I've done it plenty of times. Everybody wants to count everybody else's money. I'm never going to be the person to, and like I said, sometimes life experience is your best teacher. Because like I said, once upon a time, I felt like Jay shouldn't help Dame with anything. But sometimes your friends do fall on bad times, whether you like them or not. And you know how I know that I'm even capable of doing it? Because there's been times when maybe I wasn't talking to a certain person or people, and they've had something tragic happen in their life, and I go and I step up and I'm there. So sometimes you do. Sometimes you put some stuff to the side for the greater good of just you being a decent person. Because most people, I think, are good people. Most people think that they are good people. But the thing is that how many times do we really go out of our way to show that greatness to our friends? How many times do we say, the hell with that? I'm not going to wait for her to ask for something. I'm not going to wait for him to ask for something because I know that he is in need. I'm just going to give it. We all have Cash App. We all have Zelle. We all have different ways of sending money. Shoot, I sent somebody money the other day, and I didn't really. It wasn't much money. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna front. Only like $40. But hey, listen. I still sent it because I knew that was a brother in need. Everybody always talks about what they would do if. And the funny thing about it is, even though they're celebrities, we are faced with what would I do if situations all of the time. What if I curse this person out? What if I don't? What if I had extra money and I could help this person out? Well, I do. Will I send them any of the extra money? Well, I won't. Am I able to offer a ride or some type of assistance to this person, or go pick up something that they really may need from the store, or just something because at a certain point they're incapacitated or they are unable to get there because they may be debilitated at the point, or maybe they don't have a car at this point? Do you go and do it, or do you just say, hey, listen, somebody else got that. One of the other homies got that. One of the other friends, they got that. Crazy, right? Crazy how we always talk about what stars should do for our community. And I'm guilty of that. I used to do it. But see, there's a little difference because, I did used to do stuff for the community. Right? And I still do stuff for my own community, right? And I'm talking about community as far as friends. But it's always easy to spend somebody else's money. But hey, how do you spend your money? Because you know what? When you're helping somebody, that's usually the hardest thing to do, is for you to part with your money to help out another sister or brother. Should Jay-Z give Dame anything? I don't know. And to be honest with you, I don't even care. But hey, it's something to talk about. You tell me what you think. All right? So until next time, you know what the deal is. Live life. Don't let life live you.